backup and restoring of router configurations. Backing up Cisco router configurations. Now, in Cisco IOS, it is stored in the flash. So IOS is stored in the flash memory, whereas router configurations is stored in the NVRAM. So when we store our configurations, when we save our configurations, by default when we configure anything, it remains in RAM, and all the configuration which we do, it remains in RAM, and the configuration which remains in RAM, it calls running memory. And when you want a running configuration, and if you want to see that, we give the command show running configuration, and it shows the configuration which we have done right now. But if our router restarts, then it will not recover, it will not save that changes. That means when you restart the router, the changes which we have saved, which we have configured, and it is in the RAM, it will not be saved, because it is volatile memory. Volatile memory, that means to save the memory in that RAM, it needs the volt, it needs power. So when you shut down the router or our switches, it removes the configurations. So for making it safe, we do what? We save the configurations, and when we save the configurations, it goes to NVRAM, non-volatile. So the NVRAM is what? Non-volatile. And non-volatile, that means to save the content, it does not require the voltage. So when we are power off, so it can still remain, the memory can still be remain there, the content can still be remain there while it is shut down. In other hand, we have a flash memory which contains the IOS. IOS, that means our operating system of the devices like router and switches. So we have IOSs, and these IOS are stored into the flash memory. This flash memory is also, it is like a ROM. It is the EEPROM. It is a flash memory. It is like a flash, our flash drive we use for like pen drive, flash drive we use. It is the same. It is the memory, same like memory to store the data. We store the data, and what data we store in router and switches? IOS. We have IOS in that. So both flash and NVRAM are non-volatile, and data stored in each memory remains safe even a powered off stage. And IOS and router configuration is the most critical part of any device, any Cisco device, and you should always take backup of IOS and router configurations to deal with any unwanted situations. So we should have to take the backup. We should have to take the backup of IOS and configurations also. That means whenever we do the configurations, we do lots of configurations. We do routing, we do access list, we do NATing, we do lots of things. We do configure lots of things in a router and even a switch also. Now we have to make sure that these configurations will remain always. Mostly the routers never shut down. Mostly when we configure and we install the router, we don't shut down the router, because the whole network is depending on that router. The whole network is going through that router, so mostly we don't shut down the router. So when router starts, it keeps running. It keeps running till years, months and years. So normally we don't shut down, but in case it is shut down or rebooted, then our configuration should not be removed. So what we do, we should take the backup of configurations. We should always take the backup of configurations. Then our iOS what? It is the operating system of the devices, of the Cisco devices, a router or even a switch. Now if whenever our router or switches starts, what it do, it stores into the flash memory. The iOS files are stored into the flash memory. So when our router or switch starts, it copy the iOS into the RAM. It is also compressed. So first it decompressed it and it stored it into RAM and run it. Now once the router or switch starts and it is running, it is not using any file from the flash. That means the iOS file which is stored in the flash memory, it is not in use. Now when it is not in use, then maybe or mostly anybody can delete it. So if the file is not in use, then anybody can also delete that file. So we and suppose the iOS file is not there, it is deleted. So as long as the router or switch is running, you will not face any problem. But in case the router or switch restarts or reboots, then it will try to find the iOS file from the flash memory, and it will not find. And when it will not find the flash memory, iOS from the flash memory, it will go to ROM on mode. And when it goes to ROM on mode, that means your router will not start, and your configurations, your whole routing, whole access list, everything will be not running. So we should also take the backup of our iOS. To save the configuration or iOS, you should remember what the boot sequence for our Cisco devices, Cisco router. So boot sequence are like whenever we start the router, so first post happens. Post happens, that is power on self test. It runs from the ROM. There is a ROM memory which has some predefined configurations in predefined program. So this is one of the program post. It runs first and it tests all the hardware and resources what is connected to the router. Now it will not show the result when it do the post. It will show after loading the iOS. Now after post, checks the configuration register value to find where to load the iOS. Now this is very important, very important thing. It is called configuration register value. The whole boot process depends on this configuration register value. The configuration register value for the Cisco routers is default 0x2102. This is the default register value for the Cisco routers. It is 0x. That means it is the hexadecimal number, and the number is 2102. This number defines like which thing, like iOS, where to get the iOS and where to get the configurations. So first it checks the configuration register value, that what is the value, and depending on that it will start the boot process. And first it will, by default the iOS is loaded into flash. So first it will try to find the iOS, and iOS it will try to find it from the flash memory. It will locate the iOS from the flash memory, and if it is find the iOS, then it will load it into the RAM. And even if it is not find the iOS, then it will try to locate the iOS from TFTP server. Now TFTP is the Trivial File Transfer Protocol. It is the protocol to transfer the file from server to client or client to server. It is like an FTP, but FTP uses the TCP for transmission, and it uses the authentication also. That means for transferring the file from client to server and server to client, that means uploading or downloading, we have to authenticate ourselves to the server. User have to authenticate with the username and password, then it can do the transfer. But here in TFTP, it does not need to authenticate the server. We can directly connect and download or upload the file. And even it is not using the TCP, so no need to establish the connection also. So it is faster than FTP. It does not require any authentication. It directly we can upload or download the file from the server, TFTP server. So it will locate the iOS, it will try to locate the iOS from the TFTP server also. There is an option that we can configure the configuration register value to get the iOS from the TFTP server. So if it is there, if it is configured like that, then it will try to find it from there. And if it is find it, then it will again load it into the RAM. Now if it is not finding this again, then it will locate the ROM on from ROM. So it will load the ROM on memory from the ROM on from the RAM. ROM on means ROM monitor. It is a different mode, ROM on monitor mode, and it is loaded into the iOS. Now in this ROM on, we cannot do anything. We can only do what? We can only do this, that we can download a new iOS from it. Otherwise we can't configure anything, we can't do routing, we can't do any other configurations. It is just to reconfigure our router. It is like a safe mode we have in Windows. So it will load into the RAM, and then our router will try to find the configurations. configurations, that means whatever configuration we have saved, and remember we saved it into NVRAM. So in case if we have saved the configurations, it will try to locate the configurations. So operating system is loaded and then it will try to find the configuration from the NVRAM. Now in case if we have saved the configuration, then it will load the startup configuration from NVRAM. Now if it is not saved, for example we have started the router first time, then what it will do, it will go to show the setup and promote the configuration input. That means it will go to the setup mode where it will ask us to configure the options, and it will ask us to configure the basic configurations options. Now if we have saved the configuration, then what, we can load the configuration from NVRAM. Now if suppose someone deletes the iOS from the flash memory, because it is loaded into RAM, so it is running. So when it is running, it is not related to flash. That means it copy the iOS and decompress it and run it on the RAM. So when the router is running, this file which is located in the flash, it is not used. So anybody can delete the file, and when it is deleted, then it will not find it. Now it will not find it here, it will not find it in IFT, TFTP, then it will go to ROM on node. But remember, still your configurations are saved in the NVRAM. So whatever the configuration we have done, it will remain, only the router will not start because of iOS. But suppose the iOS is there, but your configuration is not there. Like I have not saved the configuration into NVRAM. So what happened? The configuration will be removed. So whenever our router reboots, our configurations will be removed. Now if our configuration is removed, that means we have to do the configurations again. So first thing is what, to save the configurations. So for saving or taking a backup of your configuration, so first what we do, we save the configurations. Now once we save the configurations, then remember our router don't shut down. It will not shut down. It will go on to run for months and years. So within those months and years, we can do latest changes. We can do changes lots of time. So basically what we do, we save the NVRAM. We save our main configuration in NVRAM. That what we required every time. Then whatever the changes we do, like suppose I did changes today, then after 1 week I did one more changes, then after 2 weeks another changes I have done, for after 1 month I have done another changes. Now suppose our administrators are saying that we need the changes of previous 1 month before, the same changes like we have on previous month on that date. Now what, I have to reconfigure it, or we can do what, I can take a backup of my configurations. So whenever I do new configurations, what I can do, I can take a backup of that configurations, so that whenever I need that configurations of that date, I can recover it from my backup. So in this case we can do what, we can take the backup of our configurations also. So there is two configurations we have, one is running which is changing, or one is basic configurations which I have saved into NVRAM. So it is a good idea, or it is a good practice to take the configurations backup. Configurations from the NVRAM, which is our startup configuration, maybe it is the basic configurations, and also the configurations which I daily or weekly or monthly changes. So whenever I do change, I can take the backup of those changes. So our configurations backup is also important, and also important is our iOS. So these two things backup we have to take. So this is our design, and suppose I have configured here in this router. So whatever we configured on running router, it keeps running, it will store in the RAM, and it will say running configuration. So if you see running configuration, we see what we have saved, and this is what all the configurations of my router, IP addresses, interfaces, I have done the routing also. So this is all my configurations. Now this is not safe. So if I shows startup configurations, that means my NVRAM. it is saying that startup configuration is not present. That means I have not saved anything. So in this time, at this time, if my router is rebooted, maybe of the power, because of power or anything, now what happened? My whole configurations will be removed. So it is a good idea or good practice to do what? Save your configurations. So what I have to do, I have to save it. So for saving our configurations from running to startup, that means from RAM to NVRAM, we run the command copy. Copy from running to startup. And when I press enter, it says destination file name. So what the file name you want to have on destination, that means from in the NVRAM, which name of the file you want. So basically don't change the destination name for this. It is a startup config and save. Now the configurations are saved. Now if I reboot my system or if my router is rebooted, it will not remove the configurations. Let's see, I will reboot it physically. Physically I do reboot it. Now you see it is decompressing the iOS file from the flash and it is loaded. Now it says press enter to get started. Now when I press, and you see now it is applying the configurations on those interfaces, and these interfaces are now getting up. Now if I check, you can see the router name is there, and we can see show startup configuration, and we can see what configurations are there, and it has been loaded into running also. So now whenever our router starts, we don't lose the configurations, but mostly what we do, we regularly change the configurations. Now for the example, I change the host name. Right now it is router 2. I will change it to test router. Now what? I'm not changing lots of things. Now when you check the running configuration, you can see the host name, it is showing what? Test router. But when I see the startup configuration, shows startup configuration, it is showing the previous name, the name which was previously there. So if someone we have a basic configuration saved in the startup configurations. Now in case suppose sometime I did some configuration, I know, but I have done something wrong and router is not working properly because of my configurations error. Now I don't remember what the wrong configurations I have done, and I am not able to remove the configurations. Then what? Our running router is now giving us a problem. But I have a problem, I have a saved configurations. So what I can do, I can recover it from the save configurations. So saving the configuration is also like a backup. To save the configuration, so anytime whenever your main running configurations got corrupted or misconfigured, then you can recover it from your basic configuration. So in our basic configuration, we have a name R2, but for the running configuration, I changed the name. Now I have just changed the name, but any configurations which we have changed. So I have to recover it from my startup configuration. So what I will do, I will do copy. Now previously we did running to startup. Now I will do startup to running. That means I am just recovering my save configurations. Now again it is saying what will be the destination name. Now for these things we should not change the destination name. It will go by the default. Enter. Now when you see here, the router name is again changed back to that previous one. Now I have done this because I am able to do this because why? Because I have the save configurations in my NVRAM. Now if suppose someone changed the configuration in NVRAM also, like suppose someone changed the name, changed some configuration, like for example I am just changing the name, and it has saved the configurations also. Like the shortcut for saving the configuration is right. you can only run the command right. It will do what? It will copy running to startup, and when you check show startup now, you see the name is now changed. So whenever our router boots, it will get this configuration, and running is also showing the same. So this can also happen. Our startup configurations can also be modified. So what we do, we should take the backup of our configurations. So we can take the backup of, we should take the backup of our startup configuration, and also we can take the backup of our running configurations, so that we can keep changing the running configurations and keep taking the backup of those running configurations. So in some point of time, if you need the configurations of previous point of time, then you can restore it from the backup. Now how to take the backup, that is important. How and where to take the backup. Now if we take the backup in the router itself, then what? It is like saving your configuration from running to startup. So it can also be corrupted. So taking a backup means what? If any data, for taking a backup of any data, that means copy the data in a place where we can recover it, where it is secured. It is not in the same device which backup you are taking. So always for a backup, like anything, if you're taking a backup of Windows machine, Linux machine, or anything, so taking a backup means what? Copying the main important files and keeping it into the position or location where it is secured, and that is never be the same device. So you should not take the backup into the same device. So where we will take the backup? Now for Cisco devices, we can use TFTP server. TFTP server, we can store the backup on TFTP server, and in case we lose the configuration or data, then we can recover it from the TFTP server. So TFTP server is can be a Windows machine or a Linux machine. So we can configure the TFTP server on any of these Windows or Linux machine, and we can use that TFTP server to store the backup and retrieve the backup from there. Now in this packet tracer, we have a server machine here. These server machines, you can get it from the end devices. There is a server machine here available. So in this server machines, if you check for the services, it also have a TFTP service. It also has a TFTP service, and the service is running, it is on. So we can use this server also, this TFTP server from this virtual server also. And if you see here, it is also having some flash iOS files here. It is also having some iOS files stored here. These are some sample iOS files are stored here. It is already there. So we can use this server as a TFTP server also. Now in real scenario, what we do, we configure any machine, any Windows machine or Linux machine to work as a TFTP server, and then we can use that TFTP server. Here what we can do in packet tracer, we can use this server, virtual server machine, as a TFTP server to save the configuration and to take the backup from it. Now how you will do that? Very simple, the command is copy. So in order to copy the router configuration from the router to backup server, that is TFTP, that is Trivial File Transfer Protocol server, you can use the command such as copy. So just like we use copy running to startup, we can use copy running to TFTP, or we can copy startup to config or startup config to also TFTP. So we can take the backup of running configuration, and also we can take the backup of startup configurations. But first we have to configure the TFTP server. For example, here in this image you can see this router is now 192.168.1.1, and it is connected to this server, TFTP server, which is 192.168.1.10. So we can take the backup of our router's configurations, running or startup. We can take it into, and we can store it into this TFTP server. And for restoring it, so once you have taken the backup and you have to restore it, So for restoring, we can use again the copy command and copy from startup to running if you saved it into startup configuration, or if we saved it into TFTP server, then we can use copy TFTP to running, or we can use copy TFTP to startup configurations. Now there is an option to erasing the configurations also. So if you want to delete the startup configurations on a Cisco router, you can use the following command. It is called erase startup configurations. It will do what? The above command deletes all the content of the NVRAM on a Cisco router, so the next time the router boots, it will run the setup mode. It will go to the setup mode because there is no configurations. So I will show you how we can take the backup of startup and running both configurations in TFTP server. Now in this design we have this server here. The IP of the server is 70.0.0.3 and it is connected to this router. So first we can check is it connected or not. So I am pinging the router and it is getting the reply. That means it is connected to router. So I will take the backup of this router 4 into this server, TFTP server. In this server we don't have to configure anything because by default it is having a TFTP service and it is running. So we don't have to configure anything here. Now these are some sample files are there. So I will do what? I will remove all these files so that we can see our file. So I will remove all these files. Okay, now there is no file in this TFTP server. Okay, now what I will do, I will go to the router. First show startup configuration. There is no configuration saves, but show running configuration. So we have running configuration here where we have all these configurations. Now what I will do, I will make changes. I will change the startup configurations. I will only change the name so that we can see the difference. So this startup configuration, I will make the router host name as a Apple. Now in the startup configuration, in the running configuration, the name for the server router is what? Apple. Now I will save it into startup, running to startup. So in a running configuration, the name for the router is Apple, and now in startup configuration, it is also same. Now what I will do, I will change it into running configuration. So in a running configuration, now I will change the name of the router is Mango. So in a running configuration, startup configuration, we have name as Apple, and for the running configuration, the name is Mango. So I just did configure the name. I have not configured lots of things. I have not changed lots of things. I have only changed the name for the testing. Now I want to take the backup, and I have a server 70.0.03 which is running. So I will run the command copy. First I will take the backup of running to TFTP. Now when you press enter, it asks address or name of the remote host. Remote host, that means our TFTP server. So it is asking the name or IP. Name it can resolve if we have a DNS server available in our network. So if there is a DNS server there and who can resolve the names, then we can give the name. And if we don't have DNS, then we can directly give the IP address. So I'm using the IP address 70.0.0.3. This is our TFTP server, and you can see in the bracket there is no name and IP showing here. That means there is no previous setting and it is not default. Now it is saying name the destination file. By default it is going to name as mango config, router name with the config. So it is going to name it like this. So I will make it small. I will make it only mango. You can give any name here because the file is going to save into NVRAM. Let's say I will go very small. I will go run, so that I know this is running configuration, and it is copied. Now it is copied into the TFTP server. We can verify by going into the server and checking the TFTP files, and we can see that run here. This is the file, this is having the running configuration, and this is saved here. Now I will take the backup of startup configuration. So now I will give command copy startup configuration to TFTP server. Again it is asking the server name or IP. So this is the name of the IP of the server. Again it is saying what will be the name, destination file name. So I will say this is my startup. You can give any. You can mention the name with the time, date and all that. Now it is also saved, and we can check in our server. So I go to server and I go to TFTP, and I can see the start also. So this is what taking the backup. Now if our configurations are deleted, then we can get the configurations. Now how our configurations will be deleted? For example, first I will erase it from the startup configuration. It is saying, are you sure you want to clear the NVRAM? I say yes. Now there is no configuration saved in the NVRAM. If you check show startup configuration, so there is no configuration is there, but the running configuration is still there. We can see the name. Running configurations are still running. So running configurations are still there, but if our router reboots now where there is no configuration in NVRAM, then it will lose all the configurations. So let's reload it. Yes. What it is saying here, system configuration has been modified. Do you want to save it? No, I will not save it. It is asking you to save because what? I am doing it, I am rebooting it by using the command. If I use it physical reboot, then it will not able to ask me to save the configuration. But again, I will not save it. Now the router is rebooting and the configurations are not saved into a startup configurations, so it is not going to load anything. So the running configuration will not be there, and it is going into now. You can see it is going into setup mode, and here it is asking you to configure the initial configuration. I will say no, and now you can see the name is not showing. It is the default name. Running configuration, no configuration. Startup configuration, no configuration. Show IP root, no, there is no configuration. Show IP interface brief, no interface is configured. There is no configuration. Now what? We have a backup. We have a backup on server, so we can get back the configurations. So what I will do here, so now we have saved configurations, so we can recover it. So what we will do, it's very easy. copy from TFTP to, let's say I will save it first on running configuration. Now it is asking again what is the name and the IP of the host, that is our TFTP server. So the server IP is this. Then it is saying that what is the source file, that means what is the name of the file on the server and which file you want to download. So I will download run because this is having the running configurations. Now what will be the file name on destination? So destination I will not change, I will use the default name. And now it is accessing the TFTP server. This TFTP server works as a default. It works as a UDP and without any authentication. Now it will not get it, it will give us error. It is trying to access it, but soon it will give me error. Now why it is giving me error? Why it is going to give me error? Because if you see here, there is no IP address configured. It says timeout. Why? Because you can see there is no interface configured here, because we have removed the all configurations and there is no IP address configured. If you see here, this interface is also down, and because this interface is down, it is not able to connect this server and not able to download the configurations. So in first time what you have to do, you have to at least configure the IP address so that you can connect to the server. Rest of the configuration it will download from the server. So I will go to the configuration tab and interface fast Ethernet 0/0, which is connected to the server, and at least I will configure the IP address so that it can connect the server and download the whole configurations. Now if we check, this interface is up and it is now able to connect this server, and from this server it can download the configurations. And we just have to wait some time because the switch interface is not enabled. It take a little more time to enable because of STP. Because the STP is running on every Cisco switches, so all the interface goes with the STP stages. So now it is up. So now the interface is up. First I will try to test the connectivity to the server, and I am getting the reply, that means I am connected. Now I will run command copy TFT from to running. Again host is this. Now I am connected to the host. File name is run, and destination file name always keep it default. And now very quickly it has connected the server, then it has loaded the file and copied into the running memory, and you can see here the configuration is now there. And if you see show startup, then again there is no startup because it is directly copied from TFTP to running configuration. It has not saved it anything on startup. So if we want to recover it into the startup also, then we will run this copy TFTP to startup configuration. Again the name of the IP of the server, now the file name is what, start, and destination name we will keep it default, and now it is copied. So in running it is now Mango, it was Mango, and for startup now we can see the configuration and it is now Apple. So this is what taking the backup of startup and running configurations. It is very important to take the backup of your startup and running configuration so that we can recover it in case of lost, in case of our configuration is misconfigured, or I have removed something I don't remember, or I want to go back to the previous configurations. Now backing up and restoring the iOS. So Cisco iOS is a software on which the Cisco router is running. So it is important to back up the Cisco IIS. Before you upgrade or restore a Cisco IIS, you should copy the IIS to a TFTP server in order to prevent the new image from crash and burns. In Cisco routers, the Cisco IIS is stored in the flash memory by default. So even if suppose we are upgrading or updating our iOS, at that time also we should take the backup. Before doing that, we should take the backup of our normal iOS which is working and running. So suppose sometime we upgrade the iOS, update the iOS and it won't work, some problem is there, bugs are there, so we can recover it from the backup. So it is important to take the backup of iOS also. So before taking the backup of iOS, you should make sure about the following things. First, there is a connection between router and the backup server via crossover cable. Remember, we saw this right now also. When it is not able to connect the server, it cannot recover it, it cannot use, it cannot restore the files, it cannot download the file. Now make sure that the backup server contains enough space to store the backup. So your backup server must also have enough space, because otherwise what happen in the middle of copying file, it can stop. So your backup server must have enough space. It is not require much space because this iOS files are not that big. It is 5 MB to 25 MB, not that big. So next, verify the file naming and path requirement and make sure you provide the right name and path. Then TFTP server software should be running while the backup is taken on the TFTP server. So TFTP server software must be running on the backup server, whether you are configured on Windows or Linux. Then the TFTP server should be able to ping the router. That means we need to have a connectivity. These are very important things before going for the backup or restoring the iOS, or even a running configuration, startup configuration also. For verifying the flash memory, if you want to take a backup or upgrade the Cisco iOS on your router, first you have to do is to identify the iOS image file from the flash, or you have to verify that a router flash memory has enough space to keep the new iOS image. So you have to make sure that your flash memory has enough space for the new iOS, or what is the name of the iOS. If you want to take the backup, then you should also know the file name of the iOS. When you do the copy, remember, just like we did copy the running configuration and startup configuration, what it asks the name of the file. So you should know the name of the file which you want to take the backup. So you have to make sure that you can verify the iOS file from the flash. So for verifying the free space and the flash memory, and a file or file begins stored in the flash memory by using the following command. So simple, we can run show flash command to see the content of flash memory, and then it shows also that total bytes used and available byte also, and it also show the bytes of processor, board, system, flash also. So basically it shows the total available space and used space and available space by using this show flash command. So for the above output which you see here, you can understand that the flash memory total size is what, 64 MB, that is 6401638 totals, out of which 58 MB, that is 703 bytes is used by the current iOS file. The flash command, show flash command, provides an output on the total amount of flash memory used by the current iOS image and the free space available to store the new image. The Cisco iOS name you can see in the output, that is this C2600imz.122/28.bin. The name of the file is platform specific and derived as follows. So whatever the name you see, you have to identify. You will see these names also. So you have to identify what is the iOS name. So this is the file name for the iOS. What that means here is that C2600 means that it is the iOS image for the 2600 series router, and other values which may appear here for the different router platforms are listed below. So in a different platform of router, you will see C105 for 1005 platform, you will see C600 1600 for 1600 series of routers, 1700 for the 1700 series platform, 2500 for the 2500 series platform, and so on. Then you will see I indicates that this is the IP routing version of the iOS. I, that means where you see I here, this I. Now this I means what? It is the IP routing version of the iOS. Normal values which can also appear is A for APPN, A2 that means for ATM, A3 for SNS switching, B for Apple Talk, C for communication server, etc., I for IP, J for enterprise, I for IPX, N for novel network, O for firewall, P for service provider, V for voice. So if you are having a different devices iOS, then it uses these versions of these things. Basically I for IP routing. So normal router do the routing, but other routers like can work if you have a firewall device and you see the iOS of firewall device, you will see the after the uh, version of the platform, you will see P there, O there, and O means it is firewall iOS. Then the next thing is MZ. MZ indicates that this version of the iOS runs from RAM and the iOS file is compressed. Normal values which may appear here are like F. F indicates that the image runs from flash memory. Then R indicates that the image runs from ROM, and capital I indicates that the image is relocatable. It can be relocated. X indicates that the image is mzip compressed. It is compressed with mzip. Then the next thing is 12228. It is indicating that this is iOS version 12.2 and patch level is 28. It is 12.2 and patch version is 28. And the bin indicates that the Cisco iOS is a binary executable file. It is the extension for the file .bin, and this is the breakout of this name of the file. So we can check this by giving the show iOS command. Now if I want to check the iOS, then I can give show flash command to see the flash memory. And what it is showing here, it is also 2600 series router. You can see there is 3 files, 1, 2, 3 files are there. 2 files are some XML files. This is the size of those files, and this is the file size of my iOS file, and this is the name of my iOS file. This is C2600 series. This is IP routing. This is about the type of the device, and this is what the version and bin. So this is what the iOS file we have. Now how you will take the backup of this iOS file? So again we can use the copy flash TFTP command to copy the iOS to the TFTP server. But before that you should check the connectivity between the TFTP server and the router. Now you can see in the image what it is doing here. It is actually directly connecting it to the router. It is directly connecting the CFTP server to the router, and it is important. It is important to connect the TFTP server directly to the router in case we are taking the backup or restoring the backup, restoring the iOS from the backup. It is important to connect it directly. I will tell you why. I will show you why it is directly. It is needed directly. So what we do, we run the command copy flash to TFTP. Now here in this design I have not connected this server directly to the router, so I can take the backup, but at the time of restoring it, That time it can be a problem. It can give a problem when you restore it from the TFTP server, and if it is not connected directly. I will show you where and how the problem comes, but we can take the backup easily. So first I will take the backup. So I will go to the router, and very simple, I will give command copy flash to TFTP server. Now when I press enter, it asks me what is the source file. Now source file name, we know that in the iOS file, in the flash memory we have these three files, and from these three files this is our name of the iOS. So I want to take the backup of this file. So I will copy the name of this and then I will paste it here, and that is why I run this show flash command. Now when I press enter, it is asking me that where is the host. So this is the host, this is the TFTP server. Now again it is asking me that what will be the name for the file on destination. So on destination I can give any name. I want to have iOS. I will make it iOS. It is not important to give extension .bin. You can give without extension also. It will work. And now it is copying, and it is very fast, and it is copied into the server. We can check. We can check in this, and we can see this is our backup. So we have taken the backup of our iOS. Now in case of restoring, now restoring or upgrading the Cisco router iOS. Now restoring means if you have taken the backup, then you have lose the iOS, then you want to restore it. Upgrading, that means you have new version of the iOS available for your router and you want to upgrade it from the old version to new version. Remember, it will not lose the configuration when you upgrade, because configurations are stored in NVRAM. It is not stored in the flash memory. So when you do upgrade or restore the iOS file, it will not remove the configurations. Now if the Cisco iOS file of the router is damaged due to any reason, you have to restore the backup which you have taken of the iOS, Cisco iOS. While restoring, the command will promote for the TFTP server IP address or host name, so you have been sure that the TFTP server is accessible, and then it will promote for the iOS file name. Now that the TFTP server has saved it in the default directory specified by the TFTP server. After the iOS is occupied from the TFTP server to the router, it will promote you for a router reboot, and to restore the iOS from the TFTP server to the router flash memory, you can use the following command, and the command is very simple: copy TFTP from flash. For taking a backup, flash to TFTP. For restoring, TFTP to flash, and it will restore it. Let's see that. Now I will restore it, so I will go to here again on the router. Now for taking a backup, I have run copy flash to TFTP, and now for restoring I will say copy TFTP to flash. Now again it is asking the server IP. Now remember, you have to be connected. Then the source file name. Now I have mentioned the name as iOS in our server. I have saved it as a iOS. And destination, I will rename it so that, okay, I will not rename it. So it will do what? On the destination, on a flash memory, we have already iOS with this name, and I will keep one more iOS by using this name, and is also uploaded now. If I check show flash, so now this time we have two iOS files with this name and with this name also. So because I have a memory, I can do this. Now if you don't have any memory, then you cannot do this. Now I have two iOS files in a same flash memory because I have the memory. Now in case if you lose the main iOS, like your iOS is deleted or corrupt, then your router will not start and you're not able to do what? Anything. Remember, when your router will not boot, when your router try to boot, try to get the iOS, and if it is not getting the iOS, that means your configurations will also not be loaded. And when your configurations are not loaded from NVRAM, you will not have these interface IPs, and these interfaces will also be disabled. So you are not able to do what? Anything. So you have to make sure first you have to get the iOS. Your configuration is there, but your iOS is not there. So what we have to do, we have to recover it from the ROM on mode. So when your iOS file is deleted, then what happened? Your router will go to ROM on mode, and you have to know that how we can recover it from the ROM on also. So I will show you how it will go to ROM on mode. What I will do here, I will remove these files from flash. What I will do, I will use command delete flash. Now it is asking what file you want to delete. So first I will delete this file. Confirm, confirm. iOS file is deleted. Now I have one more iOS file, which is this one. So I will delete this one also. Confirm. Now the flash files, the iOS files are not there in the flash memory. Now router is running, there is no problem because the flash memory, the iOS is loaded into RAM. Now in case if it is reloaded, whether I change the configuration or not does not matter. You see what happens here. Router is shut down here, then when router starts, it do the post, and then after it does the bootstrap. Now after the bootstrap, it will try to go for the ROM and try to go to the flash memory to get the iOS, and it is not able to get the iOS. And what it is saying here, boot process failed, and it is saying the system is unable to boot automatically. The boot environment variables needs to be set to bootable image. Now you can see it is called ROM monitor mode, and this is the first command I can give here. This is the number, means how many commands I have already given. It only indicates the number of commands I have passed. So this is when I type one command, it is going to be the first command. Now in this mode, we can assume it like a safe mode of our Windows. Now here I can do anything, I cannot do anything, there is no routing, there is nothing. If I try question mark, it is not showing any options here. To get the options here, like what commands I can give here, I have to give help here. Now what commands we have? We have totally these commands, only these commands. Now only these commands, that means only this command I can do. Now what commands are here? There are command to get boot. Boot command do what? Boot up an external process. That means it can boot from the external source, like we can boot it from the TFTP server. Then confreg, it will do change the configuration register utility. dir to list the files and in the file system. Then help, then reset to reboot the router, set to display the monitor variables, and tftp dnld command is to download the image from DFTP server. Unset is to unset the monitor variable. Now what? Now in case if you see this command, you can say that okay, this command can download the image from TFTP server. So we have a backup on TFTP server, so we can download it from there. So I will try this, tftp dnld. Now see what happens when I run this command. It is not working. Now why it is not working? Now first thing, you see here our iOS has not been loaded, and because of that configurations are not loaded also. Now our router is not connected, there is no interface up, the interfaces are down, there is no IP addresses are on these interfaces. This router does not know anything about the TFTP server, it does not know anything about what is the file, what is the name of the file, iOS file which is stored on the FTP TFTP server. The router knows nothing now. So how it can download the files from this TFTP server? So first we have to set some variables, like we have to give our router some information, that means we have to set some variables. Now what those variables are? So when I gave this command tftp dnld, it says that missing or illegal IP address for variable IP address, illegal IP address. First it is saying uses of this, it is showing you that what is the uses and how you can use this, and it needs first this required variables. This is compulsory variables, these are the compulsory variables we have to configure first. The variable says IP address, that means your router must have first IP address. Our router must need an IP address so that it can connect any network. Because there is no IP address configured on our router. Then with the IP address also we have to define the subnet mask so that it will go and connect the server. So we have to define the same IP address with the same subnet mask as our TFTP server. Then in case if it is going through the gateway, through other router, then we have to also configure the gateway. Then TFTP server. Then we have to define the TFTP server IP also. Otherwise it does not know where to download the file. Then on TFTP server we have to define which file to be downloaded. So these are the variables we have to configure first to use this tftp dnld command. Then there are some optional variables are there. It is not required, it is optional. Optional to set the verbose, to show the more information, and basically it is verbose. So if you see, if you go for 0, it will go quietly run the process. 1 will show you the progress, that is the default one. You can set it 2 also, and 2 is more verbose, it will show all the things. TFTP retry count will retry count ARP TFTP by default 7. This is default 7. That means it will keep trying 7 times to connect the server. Timeout, overall timeout for the portion in seconds is this. This is the default seconds. It will try to connect the server, and if it is not able to connect within this seconds, it will time out. This is for the checksum, and this is for the speed. Whether you want this speed, half duplex, full duplex. Auto is what? 4 is the auto, that is default. Auto, that means according to the server it will use the duplex and speed and your interface. So for downloading the iOS from the TFTP server, we have to use this. First we have to configure these variables. If we check set command, it shows there is no variable configured right now. So first we have to configure these variables. So what I will do here, I will configure IP underscore address. Now here you have to give is equal to, you don't have to give like colon, you will give is equal to. It is like this, variables in capital equal to value. So IP address, I will mention the IP address to connect the router, so within the same network. Then the next variable is to set the IP subnet mask, as it is what it is asking. Subnet mask is equal to, because it is class A, so this is the subnet mask. Then we have to set the gateway, which is default. So default gateway is equal to same this router is the gateway for everyone. Now you have to configure the server. TFTP underscore server is equal to, you have to mention the server IP. Then TFTP underscore file. What is the file name? So on the TFTP server we have taken the backup, and the file name we have put it as a iOS. So these important and required variables I have configured. We can verify by using the set command. So these are the variables I have configured. And if you feel some variables are not good or wrong, then you can do unset. Command is there, unset to unset the monitor variables, set to display the monitor variables. Now these variables are configured, which is required. Now I can go on to download the iOS file from the TFTP server. Now here you will see the problem because the server is not directly connected. If you see here, the server is not directly connected to the router. Now when you do this, you will face the problem. You have to connect the server directly to the TFTP TFTP server to the directly router. Now I'll show you what is the problem. Now when I run TFTP DNLD command, now it says that these are the variables configured, and invoke this command for disaster recovery only because all existing data in all the portions of flash will be lost. That means when you do this, you will do this when you are having a disaster. That means your iOS file is not there and it is deleted and your router is on ROM mode. Now when you recover it, that means it will remove any other file available on the flash memory and it will store this iOS, only this iOS. So you want to continue, yes or no? So I say yes. Now see what happens here. It is trying to connect and it will get timeout. Now why it will get timeout? Because the router is not directly connected to our server. So what is the problem here? The problem is switch. The problem is switch because the switch interfaces are not, you see it is getting the timeout. I will run again and I will show you TFTP DNLD. And yes, now see what happens here. This router interface is up, but from the switch side it is not up. The interface is not up, it is waiting because of STP. Now until this interface goes up, our router do the timeout. So because of this, we have to connect this server directly to the router. Otherwise you will see this, and still it is not up because of STP. Now when it gets up, till then the router gives the timeout. So we have to make sure the router is directly connected to the server. So what we do here, I will remove this connection and I will connect this TFTP server to directly the router, and with the crossover cable, because when you connect directly any machine to the router, you have to use crossover cable. So from the server I use this interface, and on the router, now you see one more important thing. When I click on router, I have two ports of fast Ethernet. Fast Ethernet 0/0 and fast Ethernet 0/1. So among these two interfaces, which interface I should connect? If I connect on this serial interface, it will not work. It will not try to connect. It will not try to open it serial interface. It will always try to open the Ethernet port. Now we have two Ethernet ports. Now it will go for the first Ethernet port. Remember, the router will try to get the TFTP server from the first Ethernet port. If you have multiple Ethernet ports, then you have to make sure that you connect the server on the first Ethernet port. Because remember, whatever the variable we have configured in ROM on mode, we have not configured and we have not defined the interface name, that which interface I have to download from. So we have not defined any interface name, and because of that, why there is no option to define it. So it always go for the first interface. So you have to connect it on this one. Now you see there is no variable to configure the interface name. We have only configured the IP address, and this will go for directly the first Ethernet port. Now TFTP DNLT. Now you see when I run this command, it will directly enable the both ports will be enabled from the router and the server. And you can see both ports are enabled now, and it has been downloaded. Now when we check, we can see that it has detected the iOS file and it has loaded the iOS file. It has recovered, it has removed the flash memory, other things, reset the flash, and then again it programs the flash. Now after this, we will run reset command to reboot our router. And now you can see it has get the iOS file, and after getting the iOS file, it will also get the configurations, and we can see the configuration is also back. And what we have now, we have only one iOS file. Those other files have been now removed. It has been removed because when we reboot, when we recover it from the flash memory, from the TFTP server on ROM on mode, it will remove all the other files. That we will do only on disaster. So this is how we recover it from the ROM on mode. We set these variables. We can also set some optional variable, for example this TFTP checksum set to 0, and then we run the TFTP DNLD. After that we run reset, and it will do what? It will reboot the router, and our router will boot with the new iOS file. These are the other ROM on mode commands for resetting the iOS. These are the other commands, whatever the command we have done. This to set the IP address, to set the mask, gateway, TFTP server IP, iOS file name to be downloaded, checksum, avoid checksum errors with the earlier version. So if you want to avoid the checksum, suppose sometime it is having an error of checksum, so 0 means it will avoid the checksum error, and then TFTP DNLD to start the download process. So this is backup and restore of our router configuration and also iOS.